Although I'm watching some clips of James Harden right now on his birthday, what he did on his birthday yesterday, our birthday, I guess, since it's the same day. And yeah, he's interesting. He got a $250,000 from Lil Baby in a suitcase with a bunch of quarters in it, and he's got these stacks of money, and he's like, "This is really heavy." And he's like, "Hey, holding this money." I don't know why these guys give huge amounts of money like this. Like, why don't you buy him something and show him something or something like that? They just give him the money, and they're like, "We know you don't really need this, James, but here's $250,000. Here you go, James, from Lil Baby." $250,000, and then they're giving him his cake, and they're on a boat. And he takes the cake, which it looks like a wedding cake with layers. It's white, except it doesn't have the little man and woman on the top of it. And he's holding the cake, and for like a second, then he shoves it off throws it overboard, off the boat. They give him the cake, and he throws it. He literally throws it right off the boat. I'm like, man, James Harden, I don't know what it is. Like, I thought you were crazy before. I had problems with you, but now watching you throw a cake off a boat and get $250,000 from a Lil Baby yesterday, man, you are kind of a hero to me in some ways. Now, oh my gosh, so crazy. Yeah, so today we're sharing the love club for Tim Leiweke. And every Raptor fan needs to know who Tim Leiweke is. If you don't know who he is, well, we're going to educate you a little bit. Most fans do already know who he is. And Tim Leiweke was the CEO of MLSE from the years of April the 26th, 2013 to October the 29th, 2015. And just a little background on Tim Leiweke. He is an American sports executive. He is somebody who's been involved in big franchise kind of moves and different things in different cities. His first city that he worked in was in Los Angeles. And he was really instrumental in different things like happening with the Raiders or organization, I think, and the Rams and things like, okay, the Kings, the Galaxy, and the Lakers and stuff like that. So he was involved in that. And then we brought him up here to Canada, and he was running MLSE, and he did a whole bunch of different things for us. He was the one who started the Major League Soccer team for Toronto, the Toronto FC. And got our BMO field out there in exhibition place. Then he's also the guy who initiated the OVO training center to get built out there also for the Raptor fans, Raptor players to work out, have a top line workout center that they could go to at any time, any place. Chris Boucher's using it frequently right now because he's here in Toronto right now. And he's also was the guy who got the ball rolling on 905, us being in G League and stuff like that. But most importantly, Tim Leiweke is the one who hired Masai Ujiri to come into our team and be in charge of it. And that solely right there is probably the biggest accomplishment that Tim Leiweke did for Toronto sports in a lot of ways, even though he created Toronto FC and did all this other stuff I just mentioned. The hiring of Masai Ujiri was huge. And it has changed our team and kept our team really, really good for a while because Tim didn't hang around forever. He was only here for just over 2 years. And really in that 2 years' time, he had a really, really, really huge impact on the Toronto Raptors, partially mainly because he separated the Raptors from the Leafs. He hired Ujiri. He said, Ujiri, you're in charge of the Raptors. You are solely in charge of them. Nobody's going to mess with you. I'm not going to mess with you. You're the one who's steering the ship. And then he did the same thing for the Leafs with Brandon Shanahan and had him running the Maple Leafs. And unfortunately, they didn't have as much success in the last 10 years or so like the Raptors have and stuff like that. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Monique's good morning, Monique. So good to see you last night. I hope you're checking out what you got last night with those cards and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun to go through the cards and like distribute them, give them out to you guys. Really, really fun stuff. Last night's meet and greet was perfect and awesome, and just as I envisioned. Hoped it would be like. And I really appreciate everybody who showed up. Tom Duke saying 1 year wiser is hard to imagine. 47 years young. Let's go. Let's go, Tom Duke. Good morning. Good morning to you. Tom, we wish you could have been there last night. You would have been quite an addition to the room, I'm sure, also. But I'm sure watching the stream and seeing everybody in the room together was fun for you. Peter, my new brother, Peter S. Yes, the Saborans. I'm officially a Saboran brother now with Peter and David. And I'm so, man, what a great time. These guys are some of the nicest guys in the world. I'm not going to lie. Meeting them and just hanging out with them and talking a little basketball and just getting to know who these guys are is just fantastic. And I'm really serious. We need to go to a game and be very loud at the games, Peter and David, for sure. Shane's saying, good morning, friends. Just watched the playback of yesterday's stream. There was a smile on my face from start to finish. Nice to put names to faces. Yeah, it was so fun. For me, it was weird because obviously you guys are going to know. You can see me. You're going to come in and be like, okay, there's Lex. But I didn't know anybody's faces. So when they were walking into the room, it was kind of like, hey, yeah. It was like when Cowboys showed up in the middle of the stream. That was so awesome. Because like we're doing this and that's not planned. We're an hour in, and then all of a sudden Bradley walks in and it's like, oh, what? It's like, who's this? It's like, this is Cowboy, yeah, Canadian Cowboy, stuff like that. So that was a treat. And trying to figure, like when David and Peter showed up, I was like, okay, who is this? And then I was like, oh, it's the Saborans. I was like, yes, it was a lot of fun. That's my opinion. Said, did you give away all your cards? Did you have any MJ rookie cards you want to get rid of? I had a couple of Michael Jordan cards that I gave to Monique yesterday, as promised. I did not give away all of my cards. I have a huge box of extras still here. And that's my opinion, man. I'm glad you came in for the stream for a second and stuff like that. We talked about you and your wacky hijinks involving with the trivia. That was a fun time and stuff like that. Okay, Evelyn's here. Good morning, Evelyn. So good to meet you, Evelyn. And thank you for the championship shirt again. I love it so much. It was really, really nice to have your presence there also and just finally get to know Evelyn. Grandy Evelyn was in the house, and she brought us a picture of baby Candace. So we finally saw baby Candace. It was so awesome. Evelyn, oh, I love you so much. And she is a real Raptor fan. I'm not going to lie. I can tell being around Evelyn last night, she's like, Monique and I are crazy about the Raptors, and Evelyn is right there with us. Oh my gosh. She's a real one. Oh my gosh. G saying good morning. Wow. He accomplished a lot for Toronto. He really did. In like 2 years. It's crazy what Tim Leiweke did for Toronto. Thank you, Tim Leiweke. We're showing gratitude and appreciation for the man, Tim Leiweke, sports executive. And, this is the next thing he did, G. It's very interesting. He moved on from our city. And you know what? He was a big part of getting the Seattle Kraken going in the NHL in Seattle. That he was the person who helped bring that about. So he must just be really good at getting sports franchises started or getting wheels in motion, greasing the wheels, getting things going towards fruition and happening. Because it's like, people can talk about this kind of stuff and say, oh, I dream about having a Major League Soccer team in Toronto. That would be so great and stuff like that. Oh, that's great. Dream about it. Talk about it. But did you do it? And Tim Leiweke did this shit. He went and did this. He said, we got a Toronto FC because Tim Leiweke did it and stuff like that. And, well, the thing he did next was he went to Seattle and he got the Seattle Kraken going. And in fact, his brother works for the Seattle Kraken as one of their CEOs or their chairman or something like that. So that's what he did. He went on and went up to Seattle and was a key person in the expansion team getting the Seattle Kraken. So that's a little bit of what Tim Leiweke has done since. Was involved in that. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let me see who else is here. Okay, let's see. Raymond Jacob. So good to meet Raymond Jacob, the wily and awesome Raymond Jacob. Raymond, you are awesome. So awesome that you dropped in. And I know that you're real happy to have that Sean Kemp rookie card and that Dennis Rodman. Some of those cards that Raymond got were some pretty badass cards. And man, it was so awesome to actually hang out and chill with Raymond. And seriously, we got to hang out again and go to a game or watch a game at a place or something sometime this season or something like that, Raymond, for sure. Everybody that was there last night. I want to hang out with all you guys again, for sure. Tom Duke's saying, that was such a great thing to get people together. When is Peters and my human's favorite Granny getting married to Gary Trent? Yeah, we want to know, Evelyn. We're gonna figure this out. We got to get if I can be any kind of a Chuck Woolery and do 2 and 2 and get you two on a couch together, and you could talk about a date you went on and see if there's gonna be a second one or not. That would be great. Granny and Gary, this is the love match we need to make happen this season. This is preordained now. We know what's up. Evelyn has spoken. It's like, Gary, you have her heart, and you need to come and collect it. And we're going to let you know. I might start chatting with Gary Trent Sr. to get his favor for this nuptial, and talk to him through Instagram. He has a nice Instagram post this morning. He is hitting the gym real early this morning in Miami, and he's letting us know we're losers for not being in there as early as him. That is what Gary Trent Sr. is telling us this morning, that, it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm in the gym. Where the hell are you guys? And that if you want to have the sex appeal of a Gary Trent Sr., you better be in the gym at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday morning, because you didn't go out last night. That's right. Gary Trent Sr. said he was in bed by 9:30 last night. So, hey, all right. Hey, that's what he's doing there, All right, let's keep going. Tom Duke saying, have a good one, Raymond. Yeah, sorry. Good to see you, Raymond and Jacob. And we will be in touch, hanging out. Thumbs up, baby. Yeah. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying, Tim's brother Todd is a stud as well in the same field, running some huge sports franchises in Seattle. Yeah, that's his name, Todd Leiweke. And he is involved in the Kraken and a couple other teams, I guess, in Seattle also. Monique saying Tim Leiweke left too early, in my opinion. You know what? I think you're probably right about this, Monique, that I could see that like maybe if Leiweke had hung out a little bit longer, or though, you know what? It is kind of that also that thing is like, leave him wanting more or something like that. Maybe he wouldn't be such a great sports legend in Canada with what he did in Toronto if he'd overstayed his welcome. And maybe it was here too long. And maybe it's because we wanted to make us feel like, well, what more could he have done? Because he did so much in so amazing, long-standing changes that have really had a real ramification and impact on Toronto sports. That what could he have done with another 2-3 years if he had been here for like 5 years instead of 2 years? Tim Leiweke in Toronto, I don't know. Maybe there wasn't too much more to expand into or something like that. Maybe he just likes being the builder kind of guy. It's like, I'll come in and be this dude that helps you with the early on, the origins of it. But when it's done, I'll move on. I'll be like Kane and Kung Fu. I'll just head down the street and go to the next one. Like the Incredible Hulk, Bill Bixby, they just show up in town for a little while, do some good deeds, maybe clean some porches and beat up some bad guys. And then they're right on down the street to the next town to help the next people. That's Tim Leiweke as a sports executive. He had to come and help Toronto for a little while. And now he's helped Seattle and stuff like that. So who knows what's next for Tim Leiweke. I think that the legend of Tim Leiweke and the fact that he's like this is actually kind of adds to the mystique that he's not there for too long. He's like, I'll be here for a bit, tidy up the room, and then I'll leave. I'll leave this place better than it was when I was here before. Let's see. Evelyn saying Tom Duke is referring to Gary Trent Sr. or Jr. I don't know, Evelyn. Maybe you can get your pick. I think both Gary Trents are on the market. Now, I can't speak totally for Jr., but I can tell you that Sr. is very much on the market just from his IG and the way he is posting and stuff like that. He is trying to put a thirst trap out for some people out there and stuff like that. So, if you're interested in Mr. Sr., I'm sure he could be very gettable. Yeah, Evelyn. Evelyn's loving this. She wants the attention from the Trent men. This is obvious. David saying, good morning, gang. Good morning, David. So good to see you and meet you last night, man. And thanks again. You guys are so kind and nice. And what a great time to meet you guys. And stuff like that. We got to hang out sometime soon, for real. Seriously. Tom Duke saying that, Evelyn, choice, of course. Your choice. It's your choice. Tom Duke is, I guess he's a pimp. He's saying it's your choice, Evelyn. Which Trent do you like? Do you like the junior flavor or the senior flavor? Gary Trent Jr. or Gary Trent Sr.? It's your choice because Tom Duke is a pimp. Good morning. He's saying good morning to David also, man. Oh, man. All right, listen. Last night, I don't know. I watched this after I got home from the meet and greet last night. They had the newest Rico Hines clip. There was about half an hour more of Rico Hines clip yesterday. I figured it out. They filmed one end. They'll have like a 25-minute clip of the real main court, the winner's court. And that clip yesterday is dominated by the Raptors. Like for the first 10 minutes of that clip, 15 minutes of that clip, the team with Pascal, Koloko, Precious, Delano, and Jeff Doughton Jr. are dominating the winner's court. And they're like beating every team that plays them, including the Hawks team with Clint Capella and Trae Young, and also a UCLA team, although the UCLA team beats them eventually and knocks them off the winner's court. But they give you this 25-minute to half an hour clip first of the winner's court, and then there's a secondary camera that's shot at the other end of the gym of the loser's court. And then you get that footage later on in the evening. And that's what we got late last night, was another 10-minute clip of the other court. And you see more, there's more Clint Capella and Trae Young on it, but there's also some more good Raptor stuff on that footage also, with Precious, Jeff Doughton, and there's some Chris Boucher on this new clip also from last night. And it's really cool to see, because you can tell from Rico when he's talking, this is the Monday, not this past Monday, but the Monday before the third week of the Rico Hines. So I'm expecting, if this is the Monday clips from the third week of the LA Rico Hines runs, that we're going to see at least maybe 3 or 4 more clips from each one of those days that week. Like they're going to probably drop Tuesday next. Then they'll drop Wednesday, Thursday, and hopefully there'll be a Friday also. So I don't think that we're going to be starved for Rico Hines clips still, even though he's gone to Africa. He's in Rwanda doing his camp there. I think they're still going to be dropping them steadily. And plus, we have the great Scotty Barnes YouTube channel, episode 2, to look forward to. It's just becoming a broken record on there right now with Scotty on Twitch. He's like, should I call Max and ask him, where is the second episode of The Life of Scotty Barnes? Where is it, Max? And he keeps saying, I'm waiting for Rico Hines to finish doing his clips on this and stuff like that. These are excuses, Max. Just get in the cutting room and get the cutting and get that thing edited up real nice and put it up so all the Raptors fans and the Scotty Barnes fans can watch Big Four do what he did this summer in the different clips and stuff like that. The Rico Hines clips. We want to see that cinematic quality to Rico Hines in the voiceover with Scotty Barnes saying what he's thinking in this moment. It's like this, and I had to bully this little man that was on my back. I want to hear him say that he says stuff like that he's punishing smaller players on the court because he's a big, huge genetic freak of huge, strong muscles at 21. That's what I want to hear on the Scotty Barnes YouTube clips. Episode 2, Max, get it produced and done and out there. We're all crying out for it. And Scotty's getting frustrated. I could tell. He's like, it should have been out yesterday ago, is what Scotty's telling Max. And he'll call him and he'll be on the phone with him on the Twitch. You say, Max, when's it coming out? My people want to know. And he's like, okay, all right. Yeah, sure. All right, bye. You know, that's how it's ending. So we don't know. It's like Scotty said, it could drop today. It could drop tomorrow. It could drop in 5 days from now. He doesn't know. So we're all wanting to know, when is it going to be? When is it going to be? Monique saying Draymond is silly for his comments. First Gabe, now Perkins. Now Perkins never liked Draymond. Yeah, Draymond, I don't know. I'm mixed bag. We were talking about it last night outside the meet and greet. So I was saying last night, I respect Draymond for his deep genius on the defensive end. I do respect that he is an above average player as far as like his defensive ability and his awareness and his intelligence on the court. But I think I don't like him because I feel like he's overblown and overhyped as a golden boy in the league, that they really push him higher than in some ways than he should be in some ways and stuff like that. And I don't know. He is outspoken and he says a lot of dumb stuff. And I thought that it was really kind of a distraction, his podcast during the playoffs, that maybe he shouldn't have been worrying about podcasting at halftime and doing stuff like that. That seemed like that could have taken away. I mean, they won, but that seemed like that could have been easily a distraction and bad for the Golden State Warriors in the middle of the finals, that he's like jumping in at halftime and trying to do a podcast in the middle of it, stuff like that. I don't know. I respect this game and I do respect what he does, but I think he gets too much accolades and showering of like praise from the NBA media in general. That he's a little overhyped in some ways. Tom Duke saying Rico Hines went, whoa, our young stud Precious looks rusty and amazing all at once. Yeah, Tom, that's something I noticed about the Precious clips from yesterday also. He looked a little more winded than the other guys. That Precious may not have been going as hard this summer like Pascal has been and stuff like that. And that the Rico Hines runs may have been a wake up for him as far as like, Precious, you got to work at this level because these guys are working at this level and stuff like that. I could tell that from the clip. If you watch it, you can tell Precious gets a little gassed and stuff like that. And I know that that's maybe one of the most important things about the Rico Hines runs is that they're really for stamina. They're really for exhausting yourself and just playing back and forth. That's why there's no free throws. They don't want you to stop play. They want you to go up and down the court as quickly as possible and trying to score and stuff like that. And if you're just running up and down the court for like a couple hours, at a certain point, you're going to be feeling it. If you're not totally, that's the thing. It's the conditioning is the thing with that. It's the motivation, the conditioning to play all out. And while he's there yelling at you and saying, keep going and stuff like that. Yeah. And he'll tell you afterwards, I didn't feel like you ran up and down the court. You were taking too much time off and just doing like this and stuff like that. So Rico is great for that. And I did notice that Precious was looking it's not even that he looked rusty. He just looked a little bit like he wasn't getting up and down the court as quick as he should have. And he did miss some bunnies, but that's normal with him. We're used to him having a little bit of fumbly hands near the basket sometimes with the ball and stuff like that. He'll get better. Tom's saying, just noticed a new Twitch video of SB4. Nice. He came on for your birthday. Yeah, he did yesterday for 2 hours yesterday. We were hanging out. He said happy birthday to me because I re-upped my subscription and he saw that I was there. And he's like, and he did say, listen, it was Scotty's grandfather's birthday yesterday. And he was talking about his birthday and going to his grandmother's to have dinner over there. They were going to cook a bunch of Jamaican food and he was going to be with his family last night for his granddad's birthday. So that was really awesome and stuff like that. Scotty's just cool, man. Like, honestly, it's so crazy. Like, all right, let me see here. So yesterday, Adriana got me this. Is Scotty Barnes jersey. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, it makes sense though. I really appreciate she got it for me and stuff because I mean, I guess I'm spending so much time with him on Twitch and stuff like that. It makes sense that I'd have, if I'm getting a new jersey, this is the first jersey I've gotten since my Bargnani jersey I got in like 2008 or something like that. So it's been a little while. I haven't gotten any championship jerseys or any jerseys from any period or hardly not. I didn't even get any Kyle DeMar jerseys at that point. So it's really crazy. Let's see. So Scotty was on for a little bit yesterday. I was trying to do my work and get it done before the meet and greet. And he like waylaid me for an hour and a half or 2 hours just because, he's on playing video games. I got to watch Scotty and pay attention and see what he's saying and stuff like that. Once again, McGriddles were talked about again. He loves coming around to that favorite breakfast food kind of conversation. And he's big on McDonald's breakfast. He was saying that Burger King breakfast on the down low is not bad and stuff like that. They were talking about different breakfast places to eat. He's not impressed with Tim Hortons. He had Tim Hortons recently and he did not like it. Now, Scotty doesn't really drink coffee. That was found out this week also that he does not drink any kind of coffee beverages. Like he won't drink an ice cap. And that's part of the reason why he was not that into Tim Hortons. He was like, you got to go there for the things that they're good at. And that's like iced cappuccinos and donuts and stuff like that. He's like talking about the food. And yeah, it wasn't that good and stuff like that. So Yeah. All right. Let's see. Monique's saying Team Canada plays Panama on Monday. Yeah, that's the two games. They have 2-game series all over the place, different games and stuff like that. And this one is going to be interesting. This will be a good challenge because they're going to be losing a couple of the NBA guys for this one. Oklahoma City, I guess maybe it has to do with what happened with Chet. Chet will be missing this season coming up. I hate to say that in some ways, but also I'm saying, yeah, I told you so, that like, yeah, Chet is, but also, it's sad because he's going to miss his first year in the NBA and stuff like that. But, because of that, I think SGA's pulled from the Team Canada game just to be safe because I don't think they can afford to have any other guys lost. And I know he's also slightly hurt right now. So we won't have Shy and his cousin Nikel. Both of them will not be traveling to Panama for the game on Monday. And Team Canada is going to be a little bit more short-handed for this game against Panama on Monday. So, but Tom, man, I'll bet that game was so fun to be at. I know that they had like a 20-point lead at some point in the second half, and then Argentina made it a little closer and closed the gap to about 10 points by the end of it. I heard you said that Campazzo had a really good game. I would be interested to hear about how Delfino did and stuff like that. And you just had a good time. It's cool to see Nav Badia there and Nick Nurse and stuff like that. Basketball in Victoria, in British Columbia, getting played. Team Canada beating Argentina. Fantastic stuff. I know that Tom Duke was probably there getting loud, and I heard that you brought a sign, Tom, and but you didn't get on TV. Hey, it's all good, man. I appreciate you being there and just putting a sign up and stuff like that. That's so awesome. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that we covered you going to the game the other night well, because even we were at the meet and greet last night, and it wasn't the best environment to talk about it, Tom. And it just looked like a great game. Once again, SGA is the man for Team Canada, leading the team to a victory over Argentina. No slouch in international FIBA basketball play. Argentina is a real one. And the Raptors, the Team Canada did a really good job handling them. Nick Nurse and stuff like that. And really cool that Tom got to be there in person, see that. So let's see. Tom's saying he might remember your birthday now because you share it with his grandpa. Way to go, Adriana. Sweet jersey. Yeah, she really shocked me. She got me that. And this is a book that I think everybody should go out and get. If you can, get it ordered or something like that. This is 25 Years of the Toronto Raptors, We the North by Doug Smith. This may be the best book written about the Raptors ever. I haven't totally read it, but I've heard so many good things about it. And I can see right in here, there's pictures inside it. So it must be easy for me to read because there's pictures. No, I'm just kidding. But, this is a great book. I've heard so many good things about it. I had a copy. So Adriana got a copy of it for me for my birthday and stuff like that. So, yeah. 25 years. It's got the forward by Vince Carter and stuff like that. I think Doug Smith's also saying on his Twitter that you can order it if you want to get it. It's hard to find in bookstores sometimes, is what I've heard. All right, let's see. Monique's saying, finally ready. The Koloko contract news. Yeah, let's look at Christian Koloko stuff like that. I still can't believe James Harden threw his cake in the ocean. That's so crazy. Like somebody went to the trouble of making that cake for you, James, and you just say, "Oh, a cake! Whoop! Throw it in the ocean." James Harden, you're crazy. All right, so Christian Koloko has been signed officially, and it's a multi-year contract. It says Blake Murphy saying that they used the remaining chunk of their mid-level to sign Koloko to a 3-year deal. Koloko will get 1.5 million this year and his minimum in years 2 and 3. All right, so we got Koloko for 3 years. All these answers have been met finally. This mystery of Koloko's not signed. Well, it really did have to do with Kevin Durant, obviously, because the Kevin Durant sweepstakes were over and the dust has settled. And now things like Patrick Beverley going to the Lakers can happen and things like that. It's funny when that Beverley trade went through, we were online with Scotty that night on Twitch a couple nights ago. He's been on 3 times this week. I think it was that Thursday night. Yeah, that was it was Tuesday. It was Wednesday night, I think, when they did the deal for Patrick Beverley for the Lakers. And we're telling Scotty that deal on Twitch, and he doesn't believe us. He's like, you guys are always lying about trades. You're always saying that this trade, I got traded, or Gary Trent got traded to Brooklyn and stuff. You guys are liars. I can't listen to you Twitch stream. I love you. You're my family, but I can't believe you with these. And I'm like, no, this one's real, Scotty. This deal is real. The Patrick Beverley for Stanley Johnson and THT deal is real, Scotty. Go look at it. Go look at Woj on Twitter. And he's like, oh, I can't see it. He's like looking on Twitter on his phone. He's like, I don't see it. You guys are lying. And we're all trying, no, it's real, Scotty. Damn it. It's a real deal. It was so funny. He finally did believe us. He found the proof on it for himself. He's like, okay, so you guys are telling the truth this time for once. Because it is true. There's knuckleheads coming in there throwing all kinds of crazy scenarios and trades at him. And he just doesn't believe any of them until otherwise and stuff like that. But it's funny that he does get on there and he wants to fact check it right away to make sure. It kind of feels like that earlier this summer when I was on with Twitch with Chris Boucher, and I told him the Otto Porter signing. I was like, Chris, we signed Otto Porter today. And he's like, he had a look like, wait, and he grabbed his phone. He started scrolling, looking through it. It's like, and then he cut off the stream and went away for after that. So stuff like that. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying, I watched Nick Nurse as much as any player playing the game. Delfino is still a great shooter. Carlos Delfino, oh my gosh, how old is Carlos Delfino? Because like seriously, when did he play for the Raptors? It's insane. All right, wait, I wrote then. Yeah, I did mean that. Carlos Delfino. He is, okay, he's 39, and he played for the Raptors in 2007, guys. Holy cow. Playing for Argentina still. 39 years old. Wow. That is insane. Holy cow. Yeah, Carlos Delfino, he's holding it down. Luis Scola is not on that Argentina team anymore. He's been aged out and he's done. He was there for a long, long time. Scola, another great Raptor from back in the day. I shouldn't say great. Just another Raptor from back in the day. And Carlos Delfino, yeah, he was somebody that that was a bad time for the Raptors when Delfino was on the team and stuff like that. So let's see. Let's see. Nick Nurse has an intense aura. Tom Duke was reading Nick Nurse's aura at the game, Team Canada game the other day. Was he doing a lot of the crouching? Was he down in that position where he's low? You know, he's low and he's getting down low and he's just watching the game, right? Like that. Yeah. Peter's saying, yeah, Nick Nurse emits a pile of energy. He's just intense. There's a bit of weird, like he's been talking about energy a lot lately. It's like this is really important to him. Are you a vampire of energy? Do you suck the energy up and or do you give it out? Do you emit it? Do you make people feel emboldened, empowered, energized with like positive energy? It's something to really think about in your own life. I was thinking about this, and this is actually really poignant for Scotty's Twitch right now. It's like, what energy are you putting out there, Scotty? Are you putting out good energy, like stuff like that? Or are you talking about LeBron's fan dick eating or something like that? Oh, that's not necessarily good energy. And we see with Scotty this week, he puts out the energy about that LeBron fan and he gets some energy back. That's like the same force of energy kind of like feeling. It's negative coming back at him. And he learned like something about that. So this is what Scotty's saying in his Twitch now. He's going to put out positive energy. Put out the positive energy, because when the positive energy goes out, it comes back. And I found that out yesterday. The Raptor Freak meet and greet was positive energy, because I feel like, okay, I've been putting out positive energy. Positive people came to the meet and greet, and it was so awesome and stuff like that. And this is what Nick Nurse is saying too. He doesn't want a coach on his team that sucks the energy out of the room, that makes people feel like after they talk to, you talk to them and you're just like, I don't feel better. There's people like that in your life that may be like around you that are kind of like energy vampires. You may be feeling excellent. And then you talk to somebody and then 5 minutes later, you're like, why am I down all of a sudden? That's really cognizant of energy. Nick Nurse is. He's really thinking about it. So this makes sense that Tom Duke would go to the game and he would feel an aura of energy coming off of Nick Nurse, because he's very, very aware of his energy and what he's putting out there right now. Nick Nurse, the way he's thinking. So he's all about energy. So maybe it's interesting. It's very interesting. Tom's saying 100%. We the North wouldn't be here where we are without Nick Nurse and Tim Leiweke. Yeah, Tim Leiweke, Nick Nurse, Masai Ujiri, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Nav Bhatia, Drake, Monique Lawrence. Yeah, we could go down the whole list of different people that this team would not be where they are without these people. Peter S is saying, could agree more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Peter. Yeah. For sure. And Monty, okay, let's see. Monty Python's here. Saw your video last night. I was laughing along with y'all. Yeah, right on, Monty Python. Bam. Bam. The dead parrot sketch. This parrot has been dead. It is dead. Why you sold me a dead parrot? Damn it. Give me my money back. Evelyn saying, good morning. Adriana, thank you for making me feel so welcome last night. You're the best. Also, so with the rest of the gang. Yeah, Adriana may be watching right now, Evelyn. I'm not sure. She sometimes is tuned in, but maybe not. But yeah, she really enjoyed meeting you also, Evelyn. She had such great conversations and times hanging out and stuff like that. You guys had a really good time. And I'm glad she didn't go too crazy. Oh, yeah, she could have gone way crazier. Ooh, that would have been crazy. All right, Tom Duke's saying really low and loudest voice in the gym. Okay, so Tom's telling us that Nick Nurse's voice is really low and it's the loudest voice in the gym. That's how it should be. It's like, it's like if he has a really low, manly voice, maybe that commands respect. And it's like he's yelling at get down the court, get down the court. And it works. It's like Nick Nurse is very successful and stuff like that. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Tom, I hope you had good seats and that you just enjoyed the experience. And I guess what's next for the Victoria, BC people out there is the open practice. That, I've been hearing some of the BC fans out there saying, oh, we wish we had gotten a game. Like Edmonton's going to get against the Utah Jazz and Montreal is going to get against the Boston Celtics. Well, they can't have a game in every city, but because they are doing the preseason training camp in Victoria, they will always do this. They did it in London last year. They'll do an open scrimmage practice at some point with the team. So, and I know Tom knows this, and he's going to be aware and jump on it and get in there and watch it himself and stuff like that. So, BC fans that are upset about not being able to see the Raptors in a preseason game, well, you get an open practice, and that'll be pretty good too. So, stuff like that. All right, I don't know what all to say other than just share the love for Tim Leiweke. Thank you for coming to our town and making it a stop in your career as a sports executive of building and starting things and getting good things to happen. Like some people are just creators. They create something and they don't necessarily want to keep going with it. They let somebody else take the keys and drive it and go forward with it. And I think that's who Tim Leiweke is, that he likes the challenges of starting something up, propping it up, getting it going, but maybe not necessarily the challenges of maintaining it and continuing to run it and stuff like that. So let's see. Peter's saying Adriana has a voice that works well on the stream. She was far away, but could hear her the best. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, watching the stream, I really should have wore the lapel mic better. I haven't used the lapel mic in a while since I used to use it for my production company for different shows we used to do. And I really should have had it higher and more pointed up and stuff like that. But it wasn't too bad. I mean, of course, I'm going to go rewatch the stream every day, and I pick out different things that I do that I'm like, don't do that, or maybe do more of this because it's really working. And one of the things I did when I rewatched the live stream from last night, I was like, okay, I got to figure out the mic better next time if I'm going to do something with the lapel mic. So Tom Duke saying, my cousin runs the campus library, so I have an insider. She said she did get a heads up last year. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. She knows I need to get in there. All right, Tom's going to get in there because he's got an insider. It's an inside job. Tom will get in there because of his cousin. That's awesome. But glad to hear that. All right, let me just pick my brain and see if there's anything else. I would be watching out for Scotty on Twitch this weekend still. If you guys are come in there and watch him like I do, be on alert. He's probably going to be around, maybe going to be on there. I don't know if he's going to travel. He did kind of hint that he might want to go to the FSU football game today and be in Tallahassee. that he was talking about coming up from Palm Beach to go to Florida State football game. And that would make sense in a way because, Scotty was at Florida State for just 1 year. And the 1 year that he was at Florida State was a COVID year with a, shutdown. And he didn't get to do a lot of the normal like university stuff at Florida State. And college football games at Florida State with the Seminoles are a big deal. And they're a lot of fun. And they're really fun for like the students and the college life and stuff like that. So it could be that Scotty's at the Florida State game today in Tallahassee, just so you guys know. I'm not sure who they're playing. I know it's probably their first home game of the season, stuff like that. But I was telling them too, I was like, well, you go to Florida State, go to Tallahassee this weekend. I'll be there on Monday. So if you're still around on Monday, Scotty, let's link up and hang out in Tallahassee. Maybe 2 Seminole Raptors hanging out in Tallahassee on campus. That would be awesome. Yeah. Peter saying, at least it didn't get lost, the lapel. Yeah, I was really big find by David. Holy crap, finding that piece of plastic that helped wrap up the cord. Really big find. Holy crap. I was really impressed with that eagle eye there that David had there. Peter saying chilling with Charlie Ward. Yeah, I don't know if Charlie Ward will be there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I'll have time to get around campus or anything while I'm down there and stuff like that. It's going to be a weird week. And like I said, the one thing about next week is I'm not going to be hard and fast to the 9:30 time for the live stream. There could be some afternoon live streams. There could be some live streams that are in the evening and stuff like that. So it may not always be right at the morning because I do have to go to Pearson and go fly and do different things like that. And it may not jive with like my schedule for this stream. So the programming this week could be a little disjointed. I will be back tomorrow for regular time, but Monday I think it may be a weird time where I'm on because that's the day I'll be on the plane. Let's see. Monty's saying, sounds like a Nick Nurse defensive play. Run the lapel! Run the lapel! Run the lapel! Precious, get there! Monty's saying, gets in defensive crouch at half court. Yeah. It's like, sometimes, some people have made jokes about him having to go to the bathroom, stuff like that, Peter, that S is saying that should be the one play they drop for Barnes, the lapel. Do the lapel, Scotty, do the lapel. Yeah, he didn't have any plays written for him last year. This year, he's going to get some plays. Watch. Monique saying, watch the Chris Boucher event late last night. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, Chris Boucher has been having camps in Montreal and different places. It's so amazing. I touched on this the other night in my late stream the other night, how much the Raptors are giving back this summer in camps in different places and all over the place. Like Precious alone, the amount of camps that Precious has put on, Chris Boucher has put on multiple camps this summer also. It's insane. It's so good. Like, and if you really include the Rico Hines, because he's an assistant coach now, the Raptors organization, its presence this summer in developing and bringing up the new generations of basketball has been overwhelming. Like, I don't even know if other teams are this involved in getting people interested in basketball. Because like one thing is up here in Canada, when Precious goes to some place like Winnipeg and does a camp like he did earlier this summer, that's huge for the sport of basketball globally and growing it here in Canada. And then these guys are all going to Africa. Like Pascal's in Cameroon right now doing his basketball camp and stuff like that. This is just fantastic stuff. The Raptors working hard, getting in their time, looking better and better, getting their shots better, looking like they're in great shape, but also at the same time, turning around and giving them back and instructing and having basketball camps. Like Malachi Flynn had a camp here in Toronto this past week before the Pro-Am. We're just seeing these dudes everywhere and active. Thad Young. We could go all over this stuff with Thad Young. Gary Trent Jr.'s out there doing stuff. Fred VanVleet had a Fred VanVleet week this summer in Rockford, Illinois. They're all going to their own little pockets and places that they want to go, like Chris in Montreal, and they're doing big stuff for the game. It's so good, so good. Let's see. Lapel. You guys are all about the lapel word right now. Ta-da, ta-da, Canadian cowboy. That's right. Actually, I'm gonna do a plug real quick, y'all. If you live in Toronto and you've got work you need done at your house, like painting work or any kind of restoration, kind of contract work, call Tada. The guys at Tada will come and help you out and help you hook you up with some painting jobs or whatever stuff. You gotta get in touch with Tada. Tada. That's Canadian Cowboy and his brother. That's right. Cowboy was in the house last night. That was so awesome. I love how people walked in during the stream. Like Evelyn showed up at some point in the stream. It was like, oh, Granny Evelyn's here. It was kind of like a Tonight Show. It was kind of like a late night talk show. You have some guests come out and they're on the couch already, and then some more come out and sit on the couch. Well, Granny Evelyn came out, and Canadian Cowboy came on the show later too. It was awesome. Monty's saying that this is the most anticipation I felt for an upcoming season in years. Yeah, yeah. I think this is for real. Like this is a very common thing right now, and it may be because they're so out in our face this whole summer. Like sometimes in the off season you don't see or hear anything about the Raptors. There's not really a whole lot to be interested in or talk about, but there's been so much this summer that it's kind of like building the anticipation that you want to see us test out this new Scotty Barnes from all the work this summer. You want to see Precious. And if it's true that the gains that are looking like they're probably going to happen, are they really for real? And, we want to see Koloko at the NBA level and see what he's going to do. We want to see Fred come back healthy and shut up all the haters that think he's not that good because of a bad knee last year. Yeah, there's a lot of anticipation for this season. And also a lot of we want to prove people wrong. We want to be the number one team in the East and all that kind of stuff. Get the finals and win a championship and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. Tom Duke's saying it's starting to feel like a movie again, just like 2019. Well, the thing about it is, it's 2000. You're right. 2019, we had role players. We had certain kind of guys. We had a character to our team. There was kind of feel to it. There's an energy to it. I think we're real close to that kind of energy again. And it's like a lot of people are saying right now, it really has a lot to depend on the growth and the maturity and all of a sudden the gains that we get to reap the benefits from of Scotty Barnes and Precious Achiuwa. With those two guys making leaps in their game in a certain way, they'll make everybody else better and we'll be really, really, really solid. And because we know Pascal and Fred are going to do a certain amount of things already. We know OG's probably going to have another leap himself. And then Gary's going to do what Gary's going to do. And hopefully he'll be more consistent. But that's the thing. We look like we have the right mix in the stew this year. The last year we cooked that stew all year and it tasted real good. And that stew was a really good stew, but it wasn't a championship stew. This year it could be. The recipe's been tweaked a little bit. You add a little bit of different ingredients with some Otto Porter, a little bit of Juancho Hernan Gomez, some stuff like that. Who knows? And you taste it, that may be championship flavor. And that's what I'm thinking. The stew this year could really much have that characteristic, that it has the right components. You need that balance. And guys, you need a Chris Boucher on a championship team. You need an old vet like Thad Young on a championship team. You need a player like Kem Burge that rebounds and plays defense and is selfless on a championship team, stuff like that. Monty's saying, I think we're better than the 19 championship team. Don't at me. It's close at least. Maybe not quite yet, but sure won't be long. This isn't a bad prediction, honestly. I don't think that you're that off. I think that some people would be like, you're crazy. We had Kawhi. We had Marc Gasol. We had Serge Ibaka. What are you crazy? No, I don't think he's crazy. I think that he's not that far off. And that the real gauge will be we're going to see the end of the year. We really got to have good health, though. Knock on wood. We have good health this year, and that'll really help. Peter's saying that's the one flavor you didn't have on your wings menu. What flavor, Peter? Right now, Championship flavor. Oh, I love it. That timing too. Well, that's the thing. Well, all the flavors will be championship flavor if they can get there. That'd be awesome. Championship flavor is the taste of 100% Canadian maple syrup on a stack of pancakes or waffles. Championship stew all over my pancake. That is gross, Tom, dude. That is really gross. Now that makes me think that you got like real pancakes. Maybe there's some butter on there already, and then somebody just came with the stew pot and the ladle, not the lapel, maybe the lapel, the ladle lapel, and like dumping stew on top of like hotcakes. Stew on hotcakes? No, that's not right. Because that's salty on, that's supposed to be sweet. I'm supposed to eat breakfast, guys. Tom, man. All right, Monique said, I just hope Gary Trent Jr. gets about 2 to 3 years extension or something like that. Yeah, we'll see. Like, listen, we got to make it work. This is part of what we were talking about last night. Do we think Gary will take less money to stay on the Raptors? Because it may come to a point where we got to make some tough decisions with our budget and who's going to get a big chunk of the money and stuff like that. Will Gary be in that equation? Will he be somebody that we value at that time, or will we be willing to let him walk if he can get more money from another team and he's greedy and he wants to get more money? Or will he stay with us for maybe a little bit less for being in a winning situation, a situation that's good, a situation that's comfortable, a situation that's fun for him? So we'll have to see what happens. You guys are funny, man, with the stew on the hotcakes. It's so gross. Peter, if you eat that, you're going to have a bad stomach ache in the afternoon. I'm going to tell you that right now. Sweet stew? Oh, golly. Tom, some things just do not need to be created. Like, Tim Leiweke is a great creator of the sports executive realm. Tom Duke is a horrible creator of food concoctions. That this is not a combo that need to be made. Like in The Sims, they used to have a version of The Sims where you could take food items and put them together and see what the meal would come out and whether your sim would be reinvigorated or it would feel like sick. And I think this is one of the ones that it would be like, shabu, 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 and they like throw it on the ground and it's gross. And then the flies are flying all over it and stuff like that. Kareem Thomas, good morning, Kareem Thomas. Good to see you. I'm upset I wasn't able to attend the meet and greet. Not that I really intended to, but if you do this next time, I'll definitely be there. Always amazing putting faces to the comments. Thank you, Kareem. Yeah, we missed you there too. Listen, I gave out all these great basketball cards last night. People were getting Larry Bird cards, Dennis Rodman cards. I'm telling you, oh my gosh, people got a great booty of gifts and stuff when they came to the meet and greet last night. And you would have totally cleaned up also if you made it. But you know what we were talking about last night? Maybe this will be a yearly thing. So look out for it next year near the end of August when it's C&E time. We'll probably do a Raptor Street meet and greet for the second one next year. And hopefully, Kareem, you can make it for next year. That'd be awesome. You guys are laughing about my reaction to the food would be horrible. That is a really bad idea. Monty Python said, I wouldn't trade Gary Trent Jr., man. It's hard to find players that want to be here and are so motivated to improve. I wouldn't part ways with Gary and his work ethic. Impossible to find. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on this. I don't want him to leave. Like, it's like some people have talked about when they're talking about Donovan Mitchell and his availableness and stuff like that, whether they'd rather have Donovan Mitchell or Gary Trent Jr., a lot of people are saying we'd rather have Gary Trent Jr. because he's a proven fit with the Raptors, that we know what we're going to get with him, and that there's too many unknowns with Donovan Mitchell, even though he may be, in a lot of NBA people's eyes, a better player than Gary Trent Jr., well, it's the old saying is like bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. We don't know how good Donovan Mitchell would mesh with the rest of the Raptors, whether he'd be able to play our defensive system capable enough in a way that we like and stuff like that. So there's too many questions. And in some ways, it's much more assured having Gary Trent just be that guy and know that this is what we're going to get. And it's still kind of unsure what you'll get from Gary because of his inconsistency with his offense from night to night. But if that's an area that he cleans up a little better and he's a little bit more consistent night in, night out, we can really depend on him. That would be great. But he may be that kind of player that it's just never going to happen that way. But we'll take that because he is such a good scorer when he is on. And in fact, that kind of streak shooter, when he's completely on, he's going to have some sort of perfect game where he flirts with a 50 to 60 point game. I'm telling you, it could happen this season. He could break Fred's record for most points as a Raptor as soon as this season. It just takes him getting real hot and just bombing everything because he can score so quick, so quick. Peter's saying Gary Trent Jr. is going to stay. Plus, his dad will be married to Granny Evelyn. Yeah, maybe she can marry both of them. That would be so weird. Like, Evelyn, if you could marry both Gary Trent Jr. and Gary Trent Sr. and have two husbands, it's a world that's expanding with kind of ideas of marriage and stuff like that. Maybe that would be ideal. You have junior and senior in your love life. That'd be something. Gary Trent Jr. is way better than Michael or Mitchell for the Raptors. Yeah, I agree with you, Peter. I've always thought this. I think that Donovan Mitchell's a great scorer, but he's a West Coast kind of player. And I don't know if he's like tough enough for the East in some ways. I think if the Knicks do get him, that it could be very evident in some ways that like the East is a little different with its physicality in some ways. And that like also the defensive stuff is like he may not have the chops to fit into our system. We said that last night. It's like you got to play a certain level of kind of defense to fit in on our team at this point. That if you're not up to a certain caliber of defensive like ability, that you may not fit on our team solely because of that and stuff like that. Tom Duke saying Gary Trent could definitely has growth potential. Good eye, Granny. Growth. You talking about senior or junior? Junior, you probably mean junior because senior's been done. Peter's saying Gary is going to have a great year. I really wish this for him, and I think he will. I think you guys are right. It's really just like I said, the consistency. If he stays healthy, and I want to see more steals and breakaway, like easy layups, little easy jams that he does. That's a great play for him. Like if he just tips it, bats it out of their hand, and it goes the other way, and he's just around him quick enough. The guy can't turn around fast enough, and he's on the ball. He's dribbling it, boom, lay in. I love that play from Gary, and he does it so often. Let's see, like usually about once or twice a game. Kareem saying, I was watching a Raptors throwback earlier this morning. Vince, McGrady, Oakley, Christie, and Davis. Do you think they could have pulled off a chip in 2023? Seems like they were all peaking. Yeah. Listen, people have been comparing eras and different times of the game, and I think it really is true that you can't do that. There's so many different things that have changed about the game over the years. Whether you go way back, there was no three-point line. Where you go way back, there was no dribbling. Like if you go to the very beginning of the NBA, you have to pass. You're not allowed to put the ball on the court at all. You pass to move the ball everywhere. And there's different things like we changed rules with fouls, like with hand checking and stuff like that. All these different little changes over the years incrementally makes the game different. So taking players from other eras and putting them into now, I can't see it because honestly, what would happen with that old Raptors team against a team today? They would not do well. And a lot of it has to do with just how much quicker and faster and bigger everybody is. That you look at that lineup and there may be some deficiencies that could be exploited in different ways that wouldn't have been exploited back then because of the teams in the NBA being made up a certain way with personnel on their team. Like you could have Oakley and Davis and, these guys would be able to run and be able to handle teams back then, but it may not be totally true today because it is evolving. They're bigger, faster, and stronger. And that's just true. And even in just 20 years and stuff like that. So Peter's saying that Evelyn likes dad better. Hey, Gary Trent Sr., look out. He's on IG, Evelyn, just sliding into his DMs. I'm sure he'll like that, seriously. And maybe you'll get on one of his stories because, like, he's all about, like, putting his love life on blast. Gary Trent Sr. Yeah, he is. Lolita's here. Good morning, all. Sorry I'm late. I will need to just listen to the whole discussion later. Just talking about Tim Leiweke, a little bit about the meet and greet last night, some about Christian Coloco getting signed, just catching up on general news stuff, talking about the Team Canada game against Argentina this week. Tom Duke saying, Granny living her best life as Granny Trent, big fur jacket. That would be awesome. Like if I saw Evelyn wearing like a big, huge Gary Trent fur jacket next to Gary Trent Sr. at a Raptors game courtside, that would be awesome. I'm sure Evelyn would just love that. First of all, she'd be at courtside sitting next to Gary Sr. Oh my gosh, we're just painting a beautiful, charmed life for Granny Evelyn right now. She's all about the Trent guys and sitting at courtside in a fur coat. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh my gosh. Peter's saying, and huge for the Raptor Free group, Inside Track. Yeah, that's right. That would be great. She could tell us all of the interesting things that are going on with the Trent family, being a part of it. Granny Evelyn marries into it. I think that would be a great, great development for sure. Monique saying the question will always be, what if they stayed? Kareem talking about McGrady and Vince and that era. Could we have won a championship around then? I think we might have been able to if McGrady had stayed and he'd blossomed like he did in the Orlando Magic. Like, because our years with him were not that good. That's why people say Tracy McGrady is a Hall of Famer. He's a great NBA player, but he's not really a great Raptor. He had some shown some brilliance, little signs of it, but he really wasn't anything like he was in Orlando or in Houston for us. And it would have been really interesting to see how possibly McGrady, with that explosion in his offensive game that he saw in Orlando, how it would have worked if he had stayed in Toronto with Vince, and how they would have had to counterbalance both of them together as dueling cousins, as an offensive, like, people can understand it now more because of super teams and having so many superstars on a team and stuff like that. But back then, everybody's saying there's not enough to go around. There's only one ball, and you have two super great Florida cousins. Who's going to get the ball? Who's going to be the man? And that's why Tracy had to leave. It was so stupid. Because in some ways, if we had McGrady still on the team, that we could have maybe possibly been like kind of a super team on the down low with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady on the Raptors still. And oh man, that would have been something else, especially with the veteran leadership of Oakley, Davis, Del Curry, Muggsy Bogues, Alvin Williams, Chris Childs, Kevin Willis. We had D Brown. We had all these great vets around that time that were really, those are good players to have for a championship team. Because those guys, Oakley, you think he wanted to win a championship with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady in Toronto? Oh, hell yeah, he did. Oakley would have been all about that. Evelyn's saying, yeah, guys, we'll take all your comments lately, guys, to make the record straight. I'm taken. Okay, so she only said that as a comment last night, just saying it. She didn't mean it. So Gary, sorry, Gary Trent Sr. and Jr., she is actually off the market. She's taken. So we're just having fun this morning, Evelyn, and we'll take. She's off the market. Your chance is up, Gary Trent Sr. You weren't fast enough. You may have got up early and you worked out, but maybe you should have been getting on the hollering at Granny Evelyn train because you missed out now. Because you were too busy working out. That's kind of ironic because you're telling us we're all missing out because we're not in the gym working out this morning, Gary Trent Sr. And now you've missed out on Granny Evelyn. All right, so she's taken off the market. Sorry, dreams are crushed in the Trent household. Peter S. is saying, our current team would be better than the older one, as good as they were. Yeah, I think honestly, I can't wait to see what the heights or what is possible with this Raptors team. I think people are just not understanding how dangerous and deadly our team is, and they're going to find out. They are going to find out. Okay, Monty's saying it. Yeah, he's there. He's defending Granny Evelyn's honor and saying she's off the table, y'all. Damn it, people. Damn it, she's off the table. All right, Lolita saying, I love that story on how young Gary Jr. called Gary Sr. to take him on the gym while Senior was on a date. That's hilarious. I haven't heard that. Okay, so Gary Trent asked Gary Sr. to come to the gym and work out with him. and Gary Trent Sr. was actually on a date at that time. I'm sure there's some hilarious stuff with Gary Trent Sr. being a single man and Gary Trent Jr. Probably being single also. Who knows what kind of wacky hijinks are happening. I like the video this week also of Gary Trent Sr. on the bike with the boom box. He's playing music and he's filming himself on the bike. And then the two sons, Gary Trent Jr.'s two younger brothers, or I don't know which ones, are riding their bikes alongside with dad in Miami and stuff like that. Cool stuff. That's good father-son fun stuff. Cruising with the boom box on the bikes and stuff like that. Really good stuff. Let's see. Granny Trent. Tom Duke saying, I'm certain that Grandpa Cordero is a great man. It is a given. Go Granny Evelyn. Yes. Much love to Granny Evelyn's whole family, Grandpa Cordero, and Angelo and baby Candace and everybody. This was all just silly fun, flirting and stuff like that. We can dream about, Gary Trent Jr. in another life and stuff like that. And there's no harm with that and stuff like that. Tom Duke saying, Lolita Sr. sure did a great job and created a beast. Great story. Like 3 a.m. All right, we're just over an hour. I really appreciate y'all meeting me again this morning at 9:30 for the Raptor Freak stream. And thanks again for everybody who came last night. It was such a good time. It went way better than I'd hoped. And really appreciate everybody just turning up. And just like we said, seeing faces to go with the names and the comments in the stream and stuff like that. And it was definitely a success and something we're going to do again. For sure. It was a great experience and stuff like that. And I know Monique had a great time. And it was really nice to meet Monique's mother also, Jackie. Thanks, Jackie, for coming. And everybody for coming down and spending some time with us. David and Peter, Bradley, Canadian Cowboy, Evelyn, Raymond Jacob, Adriana, thanks for coming also. And it's just such a good time. And we'll definitely organize some other kind of stuff to do for the season and different things like that, whether it's going to a game or getting together to watch a game, stuff like that. We got to get Sue and other Toronto Canadian Raptor freaks that are around Toronto to come and meet up, and some more of us could be hanging out, stuff like that too. All right, thanks again. Tomorrow, Sunday report. I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I should probably figure that out today. But thanks for joining me. 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back, and please subscribe, hit like, or comment, whatever you can do to help. And thanks again, and let's go Raptors! Raptors!